When I was a kid, my parents warned me about talking to strangers. Don't get into strange cars, don't go into the dark alleys, and don't take candy from strangers, except on Halloween. But the landscape is different now. The internet can be a scary place. Hackers, cyberbullies, all kinds of unsavory types out there. And Skynet. A simple typo could send you to dark places you never intended. This happened to a friend of mine. One wrong click and you're riddled with more viruses than a careless porn star. This also happened to a friend of mine. Piss off the wrong gamer and you get a SWAT team kicking down your door. Well, he shouldn't have pissed me off. What do you get when you combine Saw with YouTube? This is Untraceable. We open in a dark basement. Yeah, you can't even have a movie about the internet without a cat video in there somewhere. Okay, I know this is a movie, but I still need to remind myself the cat is okay, no animals were really harmed. The cat probably has a better agent than most actors. Meet FBI agent Jennifer Marsh, played by Diane Lane. This is her partner, Griffin Dowd, played by Colin Hanks. Yes, Tom Hanks' son. They specialize in online crime. Griffin is online chatting with Kevin Spacey. Marsh is tracking a hacker with the classic honeypot.
Yeah, he offers free downloads of pirated music. Aw, now he's stealing my financial data.
What's he into?
High-end tech and low-end porn.
Just what is low-end porn? Oh, they keep their socks on.
Well, that's your guy.
Jennifer Marsh, FBI Cybercrimes up in Portland. We need you to knock down a door for us.
I'm no lawyer, but you need a warrant. Asking for a friend. I really hope they get him. I'm tired of having to change my password every 3 minutes. But a new website comes across her desk. Yeah, I like the hamster dance. It's a stream of the kitten we saw earlier. So it is YouTube. Am I right? High five! Are you kidding me? She's a tech-savvy person. She even uses OnStar.
OnStar operator Tina.
Really, who uses OnStar? All that does is establish that her car is connected to the internet, therefore hackable. John Holmes on a nude beach doesn't foreshadow this much. So what happened to the cat? Don't ask. Check the comments, and you remember that the internet is horrible. Except for my viewers. You guys rock. The cat is recognized by a local owner.
Says that she was snatched a few days ago from his front lawn during a yard sale.
So that means the killer is also local. What are the odds?
Yeah, the domain registrar and the name servers are all in Russian. We have no jurisdiction there.
Russians again? Explain yourself.
The site's IP keeps changing constantly. It's an exploited server that's running a mirror of the site. The site's Russian name server, and that's how it gives you a new address so consistently.
Now, you do know what a bilateral collateral is.
Well, of course I do, human.
We are black holing these IPs, but every time we shut one down, a new mirror pops up.
What she said. Next victim, this time a human hockey fan. See what happens when you talk to strangers? Now he's hooked up to anticoagulants, and the more people visit the site, the faster he bleeds out. Of course, people who are not my viewers log in and kill the guy. How to get rid of a dead body? You stash it in somebody's car for them to find the next morning. Oh, that smell is never coming out. Notice how serial killers always have a lot of time and a lot of upper body strength? Meanwhile, on Tales from Craigslist, another guy is pwned. Is that our killer? Really? Well, that kind of takes away the mystery, doesn't it? Sheldon Cooper finally snapped. By the way, can't you just see Sheldon Cooper becoming a serial killer? He'd sign all his letters, bazinga. Okay, maybe the killer's identity isn't the mystery, but the why. Well, our next victim is cooking, and it's pretty brutal. Hashtag roast me. Extra crispy or original. And this one is dying even faster. Seems like everyone goes viral but me. They break down the wrong door, but the killer taunts them.
Why kill these particular people? And why is he killing them on the internet? My guess, none of it's random. None of it.
Nice one. Sit down, Bob. Our killer hacks into Marsh's computer and finds all kinds of information. They wake up the next morning with a camera on their house and a surprise in the trunk. What smells like bacon? Hey, they got my comment.
Annie thought she downloaded a game from one of her friends. It had a backdoor Trojan, which means that he has access to all my files.
You know this is your field, right? But Dowd isn't doing much better. His online date turns out to be our killer catfishing him. Again, your field. He wakes up in a tank of water that's slowly turning into battery acid. And the cops can do nothing but watch.
So fast this time.
Note to self, for more viewers, try sitting in battery acid. But he manages to send out a message by blinking Morse code. Nerd! He blinks out the identity of our killer just before dying. The killer is related to an online clip of a suicide, and all the victims are related as well. Okay, the killer is this guy's son. He's apparently pissed off how his father's death went viral and ultimately trivialized as just another online shock video. So the cops know who he is. They just have to find him. Not that it matters, he's not where he should be. The killer hacks Marsh's OnStar and her car dies. Even with no power, I'm pretty sure the doors still unlock. She tries to call for help, but John McClane is tying up the line.
No fucking shit, lady! Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
A savvy, trained FBI agent knows she's being stalked. She gets into her car without checking the back seat. She even had her gun out, just a little glance to her right, but she misses the lunatic hiding an inch out of view. You want to get kidnapped? Because that's how you get kidnapped. The killer drags our hero into a horror movie and strings her up. She's our latest internet sensation. You have hydraulic presses, then the shredders. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce the rototiller.
The awful things that men do to women that other men pay to watch.
Oh, don't get preachy. She's got a plan. Who knew Diane Lane could swing? Bazinga! Bye, Sheldon. Poetically, the killer would be killed on camera, in front of his viewers, by one of his very own murder machines, by the votes of his audience. But no, she just shoots him. Then Marsh arrests the entire internet. You're all going to jail for having seen this. And that was Untraceable. I've talked about this kind of movie before, a techno-thriller where technology is, in this case the internet, the new dark woods just outside the village, where the big bad wolves and trolls roam free. Diane Lane's Marsh starts off as a competent, brilliant agent who effortlessly takes down cybercriminals with a few keystrokes and phone calls. We get glimpses of her personal life as she tries to balance home with work, and she starts to break down when she herself becomes a victim and her family is targeted. But we really don't know that much more about her. Colin Hanks has a little more personality, even though it's mostly through quips and character traits. He's online dating, he knows Morse code, nerd, and he has a shockingly high pain tolerance. We get the series of events that drives our killer to kill, but he's just a product of it. We know he took the death of his father hard because they tell us.
Owen took his father's suicide very hard.
See? Okay, we can see he's smart by his devices and his hacking expertise. And he's got opinions about the state of the internet. But in the end, he's just another jigsaw wannabe with an email account. At first I was hoping the killer would turn out to be Colin Hanks all along. He faked his death, went rogue. But we already knew who the killer was by then. There's a cop too. He's sort of a semi-love interest, but not really, who does some stuff that really doesn't make much difference. This is the first time I've mentioned him in this review, and I forgot he existed. And I've seen this movie a few times. The murders themselves aren't too imaginative. It'd be like if someone put a webcam on one of Jigsaw's victims and added interactivity. While vile and horrible ways to die, when compared to Saw, the methods are kinda meh. Bleed a guy to death, roast another, burned up in acid. Chris Hardwick is doing the after show. It's a whodunit that reveals the killer halfway through. The motive, while interesting to see all the connections, really isn't interesting itself. In a nutshell, his dad died and he went crazy. So either become a serial killer, make memes all day. Discovering his identity didn't really change anything, and they only catch him after he kidnaps and almost kills Marsh when he seemed to be out of victims. And if the killer was just punishing people connected to his father's death, why go after the cops? Because they were getting too close? Oh yeah, they were right on his tail. The direction feels very by the numbers, where certain beats happen at certain times because that's what's expected. The killer gets personal, partner killed, hero is directly threatened, and the pacing drags when Diane Lane's home life is populated with so many uninteresting characters. There's not a lot of action. It's a talkie movie where most of the activity is mouse clicking and staring at screens. There are some tense moments, like when Marsh's daughter goes missing.
Annie! Annie! Mom?
For about 3 seconds, but the reveals are predictable. Gee, do you think there's a body in that trunk? Untraceable gets a 2.5 out of 5. It wants to be Saw so bad, but it just kind of falls flat. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe. I promise, nobody will come after you. So what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen on the internet? Leave a comment below. This is theNewBee, and as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you'll excuse me, I need to clear my browser history.